changed into her school robe. "What's going on?" Conryu shrugged. He knew as much as she did. "I'm sure it's nothing serious. I haven't heard any explosions." She offered a weak smile. "It says something about our lives that explosions have become the arbiter of something being serious." "Yeah, no kidding. I remember when my biggest worry was whether I'd turn in my homework on time. Now I'm never sure if it's going to be demons, dragons, or some masked lunatic trying to kill me." "Come on, you two," Mrs. Lenore shooed a pair of sophomores up the hall ahead of her. "We don't want to keep the dean waiting." "Do you know what the big announcement is?" Conryu asked. Mrs. Lenore shook her head. "No one tells me much." Conryu empathized with that. It was a tight squeeze for all the students to fit into the lounge at one time. Kelsey and Conryu were among the last to arrive. At the top of the steps to the dark magic floor, a wall of girls awaited them. How were they supposed to move through that? He scanned the crowd and soon spotted Anya and Maya standing together off to one side. They'd gotten at least a little friendly, which came as a relief to Conryu. He allowed himself a moment to hope he wouldn't add anyone to his close circle of friends this year. 4 of them, plus Kai and the demons, felt just about right. Around half the girls had changed into their school robes and the rest were still in street clothes. That set his mind at ease about wearing his jeans and t-shirt. He eyed the sea of girls again and sighed. If he wanted to join Maria, there was only one way to go about it. "Excuse me." Conryu nudged his way into the crowd, working his way gently through the gathering, Kelsey following in his wake. As they eased their way over, he wondered what could be so important that Dean Blaine didn't even want to wait for the freshmen to arrive. He didn't have a clue, and his stomach twisted a bit as he considered the possibilities. He nodded to one of the girls he recognized from self-defense class. Finally, they came to a stop beside Anya and Maria. As soon as he reached her side, Maria asked, "What's going on?" Conryu shook his head. "Beats me. I was hoping you might know. Didn't your dad mention anything?" "No. Sorry." He glanced at Anya, but of course she just shook her head. It wasn't like she had any special connections that would warn her about something like this. Looked like they'd find out with everyone else. When the last of the stragglers arrived, the door opened and Dean Blaine strolled through, all eyes focused on the dean. She smiled and waved. "I'm sure you're all curious about why I called you here. I have some exciting news. For the first time ever, we're doing a student exchange with the Kingdom's School of Magic. The Academy will be sending 10 students over there, 5 juniors and 5 seniors. They'll be sending the same number to study with us. If it works out well, it'll be an annual thing." Conryu glanced at Maria and raised an eyebrow. She shrugged in response. Anya looked slightly terrified, and he knew why. If the dean chose Conryu, and he suspected she would, he wouldn't be able to take Anya for Sunday visits to her mother. She needn't worry. With portals, it didn't take much longer to go from London to Central and back to the vampire's country than it did to go directly from Central. The prospect of heading back to the kingdom so soon didn't thrill him in the least. All around, girls murmured in excitement. By the sounds of it, at least some of the students relished the chance to travel. The fact that none of them had been there for the insanity this summer no doubt played a part in their reaction. "We'll be sending our top 5 students in each grade," Dean Blaine said. She named all 5 seniors, and each of the girls gave a little cheer when their name was called. The first 3 juniors were girls he didn't hang out with. She concluded by saying, "And last but not least, Conryu Koda and Maria Kane." He looked at Maria and she shook her head. Conryu thought she'd be excited, but maybe she was no more anxious to return to the site of her near murder than he was. He nodded toward the dean, and Maria followed him across the room. As they made their way through, they received numerous pats on the back and words of congratulations. He smiled and nodded through it all, trying his best to ignore everyone. After wading through the gathered students, they reached the edge of the lounge where Dean Blaine chatted with one of the seniors she'd selected. When they finished their conversation, Conryu said, "If it's all the same, Dean Blaine, we just..."